This video is about road repairs, like when a vent breaks off during a windstorm. Okay, somewhere in this video I had to do a kind of a little disclaimer here that I'm only doing minor repairs. I'm not trying to fix a broken axle with duct tape or anything like that. These are just simple repairs that anybody can do, and if they fail, it's not going to cause a major catastrophe. So, you know, every trip I have, there's always something that's going to break or fail or come loose or I have to modify. That's just life on the road. And I think anybody can do these things. It just takes a little ingenuity and the right tools. Well, I can't do a video on the road repairs without telling you what tools I bring. So what I've done is I spread everything out on this mat here and I'll try to explain it. It's a little bit of a challenge because I've got so many tools. But to start off, I come with two toolboxes. A big one, which I keep in the towing vehicle, and a small one, which I keep in the trailer. Now, as far as the tools, I'm probably going to try to do a pan shot, and this is where I'm really having a hard time. But let's just start on this side. I've got an axe, hacksaw, sandpaper, tire repair kit, duct tape, really important, electrical tape, just as important, contact cement. I also have 5-minute epoxy, but it's taking me 10 minutes to find it, so I didn't include it. I've got zip ties, I've got a multimeter, a wiring tool, terminals, fuses. Here I've got some clamps. I've got my trusty electric drill. Drill bits are over here, but we'll get there. Hammer, of course, a little awl, another little saw, gloves, both cotton gloves and leather gloves, a little bit of lubricant, tape measure and rulers. I've got some weather stripping, an assortment of files, and I always bring a box of little screws and stuff like that, as well as rivets, more screws, washers, Allen keys, tin snips. I've got an assortment of wrenches here, socket wrenches, adjustable wrench, X-Acto knife, chisel, the rivet gun, my metal nibbler, assorted vice grips and pliers, assortment of screwdrivers, even miniature screwdrivers, Vaseline, and back here I've got an extension cord, a shovel, and as I go along I also find bits of metal, and these are actually bits of metal I've salvaged. Aluminum, which is easy to cut up, which I can use for mending and stuff like that. I know I've forgotten a ton of things, but I think that's a start. Of course, I did manage to forget a few very important tools. One is a whole pile of bungee cords, rope, a very strong flashlight, and safety glasses. So I think it's called Murphy's Law, that the farthest you are from a repair place or a hardware store, something's gonna break or come loose or fall off or something like that. And so what do you do when you're on the road in the middle of nowhere and you have to get something fixed or you can't go anywhere? Like, I can't leave that vent up like that. The rain will go in and I'll get everything soaked. So this is my strategy on what I bring and how I fix things, because it's repair day. So here's the result of a desert dust storm on one of my vents. The vent cover ripped completely off while in the open position. Here's my undamaged vent as it's supposed to work. A metal arm is attached to a plastic piece that slides along a rail. It's the plastic joining piece that failed, and as you can see as I remove it, the plastic is very brittle and easily shatters. The metal pivot was permanent and had to be removed with a hacksaw. A bolt will replace it. So from my point of view, using flimsy little plastic pieces as part of a mechanical lever is engineering failure 101. There's no reason to do it. I mean, this fails you have to replace the whole unit, and that is just really bad engineering. So I'm not going to do that. Not only that, I tried to find these, and the only supplier in town, they're out of stock. So I don't even have that as an option. So I have to find a way of making my own little piece like this. All I have are 2 brackets that I rescued off some solar panels that I'd bought, which is another video that'll come up. But I think if I cut off the ends of these, and I always bring a supply of little screws and bolts and stuff like that. So I'm hoping I can make something out of this to make it work for now, but I'll be looking for a better design in the future. Using the 1.5 inch aluminum angle bar, I marked off 2 3/4 inch pieces plus holes for the bolts. With the trailer step and my foot to hold down, I drilled the bolt holes. Back to the hacksaw to cut the pieces down to size. I needed to get smaller pieces for spacers, so I put them in vice grips which I held with my foot. These spacers gave me the right width for the slot to slide in the rail. Now using the vice grips to both clamp and secure, I drilled holes for the 2 small screws that would eventually hold the entire piece together. After a little filing to smooth the rough edges, here's the final piece bolted together. It seems to slide over the rail reasonably well. Fastening it to the metal arm was a little awkward, but I got it eventually. I used some Vaseline to help glide the slot more smoothly over the rail. The result? Just as good as the original, but far more durable. Well, my second repair is going to be on the door. After some really nasty roads around Clear, Arizona, I opened up the trailer and I found out that the top part of the door, the screws had actually come loose, and some of them even stripped. There's no thread left. I tried screwing them back on, and there's nothing there to screw onto. So I gotta fix this. I can't leave it like that. And it seems like the only way I'm going to be able to do it is to put rivets in instead of screws. So that's what I'm going to do. Rivets have a far bigger surface area to secure objects in place, while sheet metal screws only have a thin thread. Screws are not a good choice for securing thin aluminum. That's all it took. I only replaced the end and middle screws with the rivets, as they carried the most load. Anyone who saw my Valley of Fire video knows that I had to endure a nasty rainstorm, which revealed a leak in the right side window. Well, it seems the only way I can address this leakage problem is to try to take the frame off this window. And there is a series of screws all around, so I'm hoping there's no adhesive seal on that. But that's where I'm going to start off anyway, is just taking these screws off. Well, the screws are off. So now I see what happens when I take this off. Kind of nervous. Aha, that's what we got in there. So with that inside frame off, it doesn't really get me at the seal where the window is, where the glass in the frame is. I've got some rubber window seal, MD All Climate Rubber Window Seal. I just picked this up at an Ace Hardware. What I'm going to try, and it really is a Band-Aid solution, is I'm going to try just lining the outside with this. It won't stop water from staying in the middle, which isn't good, but it'll at least stop it from going inside the trailer. That's what I hope. So that's my first Band-Aid solution. Let's see how that works. Well, the good thing is it is self-adhesive, so I'm going to start in the middle and just work my way around. Putting the joint on the bottom was probably not a good idea, but I'm going to overlap it, and hopefully that will make enough of a seal. I didn't overlap it very well. So the big question is going to be, when I put this back on, will that seal prevent me from having enough room to thread those screws in? And that's a good question. I don't know. I did get a very thin rubber seal, so hopefully it's going to compress, but here comes the moment of truth. Just take note, this is more the MacGyver approach to fixing your trailer. I really couldn't find anything online with a similar problem, so sometimes you just gotta put your fate in your own hands and see what happens. So, but the only way I'm gonna tell is the next time it rains. We'll just see how bad it is, and if it doesn't work, we go to plan B. So there we go. It seems to have made a good seal, but time will tell. I gotta wait for it to rain until I know for sure. The other alternative is caulking, you know, silicone or some kind of a rubber adhesive. I really don't want to do that yet. Let's just see if this $6 fix will work. If it doesn't, well, I only lost $6 in about half an hour of my day. But I still got the rest of the day. I'm going outside. Well, sun's going down. Nice, beautiful day in the forest. There you go. There's 3 repairs that I did on the road. I'm still on the road, so guarantee you there will be more repairs to come. But the point of this video is not to say this is exactly how you repair something, because with every problem there are several solutions. I just used what was at hand, what I could fiddle with, and I had to try. Because if I didn't try, that means that I'd have to go probably a long distance. Like right now, it's probably going to take me a good hour, 45 minutes to drive out if I have to, even just to find a hardware store. So having the tools and having the supplies available with you at the time is a tremendous bonus. And it'll really make your camping or your traveling that much more of a better experience when you can deal with the problems as they happen. Oh, and by the way, as far as the 3 I did, the vents, I've had some really nasty windstorms, still up, no issues, so that was a pass. As far as the door, I had some really bad roads, even this morning, some nasty roads coming in, twisting, turning, washboarding, everything. The door is secure, it hasn't come off, so that's a pass. As for the leakage that was on this window, I've been through a couple of nights of rain. Rained last night. I have not been through torrential rains yet, so it still could leak. So the jury's still out on this one. But the point is, I did something, I did a solution which I think will work for now, and if it doesn't, I can try something else. It's not life or death, it's just life on the road. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and check out my other ones as well. As for me, I got a sunset to watch.